Hey, what's up? My name is Jessie, and welcome to your 20-minute full body stretch. We're going to help you increase range of motion in your joints and get you fired up and feeling good for the rest of your day. You don't need anything for this workout, just that heart rate monitor. Turn it on and pair it, and let's go ahead and get started. I have a great warm-up for you today. We're going to start by squatting it down and reaching up to that alternate corner. Join me now. So feel yourself being pulled down towards the mat, and then really get that rotation through the core. It's good to get the body warmed up a little bit, to get the blood flowing a little bit before we hold some of these long stretches. Final 5, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead, interlace the hands on the back of the head. Point the toes forward here. We have good morning. So you're going to hinge forward, keep the back straight, squeeze the glutes, come up. Let's go. This is really a great way to start the morning. Loosen up the body. Get those hips mobilized. 10 seconds. Final 5, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and come on down into a straight arm plank position. So stack the shoulders over top the wrists, and then without moving the thing, you're going to shift the hips back into downward facing dog. Hold for just a moment, and then press back forward into plank. Keep moving like this. You can hold each pose for a second or two. 10 more seconds here. Final 5, 3, 2, and 1. And now from plank, just step 1 foot forward, and then you're going to keep that inside hand there, rotate the opposite arm up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to go ahead and lower that hand down, step that foot back, step the other foot forward, keep the inside hand there, rotate it up. Keep moving like this. We're opening up the hip. We're getting a little mobilization, a little twist through the spine. Feels so good. Final 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Go ahead and join me in a seated position. Actually, just kidding. Go ahead and stand up. Throwing you for a loop. Feet nice and wide here. Go ahead, inhale the arms up. Exhale, let it all fall forward. Go ahead and grab hold of opposite elbows and just let the upper body hang. This is such a great way to release tension from the upper spine, from the T-spine. And then go ahead, release the hands and just walk them over to the right. Tap into that right hamstring, breathe into it. Fill that space with air. And then go ahead, walk the hands over to the other side. Breathing into that hamstring, creating some more space, some more length. And then go ahead, walk the hands back towards center. Bring the feet a little bit closer together. Heel toe them closer together. Take another hang here. And then tuck the tailbone under. Slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Yes, beautiful. Now go ahead, join me down on the mat, for real this time. And go ahead, cross the legs. We have a seated twist. So you're going to sit up nice and tall, press the shoulders, roll them back, open up the chest, and then we're just going to twist towards one side. So drop the shoulders away from the ears and keep the length in the spine here. So as you inhale, think about growing a little bit taller, and as you exhale, maybe you can twist just a little bit more. And just breathe. This is all about gentleness today. It's all about mobilizing you, making you feel good. It's okay to feel good. Beautiful. Then go ahead, pass back through center. Take a moment here in the center, open up the chest again, and then let's rotate over to the opposite side. Once again, pressing the shoulders away, finding length as you inhale, and maybe twisting just a little bit more as you exhale. And then finding that deep belly breathing, that deep diaphragmatic breathing. Very nice. Gently come back forward here. Just roll the shoulders back a moment. They get tight early in the morning. All right. And now go ahead, place one hand down. You're going to reach that other arm up and over, breathing into the side rib. Press both shoulders away from the ears, and then go ahead and take your gaze up under that elbow. Focus on keeping the breath low throughout this. Low, deep, slow. No shallow breathing here. And keep reaching out of that hip. Yes, and if you need to back off of it for a moment, that's perfectly fine. And then let's go ahead to the other side. Place the opposite hand down, reach the other arm up and over. Immediately drop the shoulders away from the ears. Take your gaze under the elbow. And think about reaching out of this hip here. You want to create as much length as you possibly can here. And maybe wiggle the fingers of the other hand a little bit. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead, come back up towards center. All right, we're going to come into a low lunge. It doesn't matter which knee is forward first because we'll do the other side next, of course. So from this half kneeling position, you're going to press into that front hip flexor and just hands on top of knee. Press into it. Squeeze the glutes to support the stretch. Breathe into it. And then you're going to gently pull back, pull the toes up here, and a little hamstring stretch. So it doesn't matter how far. You want to hinge at the waist here. Maybe the hands are at the knees. Maybe they're on the shin. Maybe they're on the toe. Take a moment or two here. Breathe it in, breathe it out. And then we're going to press back into that hip flexor. Ooh, yes, it feels so good. And then back. This dynamic movement is really a nice way to stretch things out, but also to increase range of motion in the joint. Sometimes you want those long, stretchy holds, and sometimes you want to move through it a little bit more. All right, let's do one more here. Pulled back, hamstring stretch, open up the chest. 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. All right, so just switch sides here. Opposite foot forward. Make sure both hip flexors are pointed forward first, and then press into that front hip flexor. Hands on the top of the knee. Squeeze those glutes to support it all. Ah, yes, feels so good. If you sit a lot, your hip flexors, they get so tight. So we're putting them on stretch right now. Feels nice, maybe a little bit intense, but that's okay. Go ahead, draw the hips back now. Rise up onto that heel and reach towards that toe. Keep the chest open. Make sure you're not slumping over here. You're hinging at the waist. Use that breath. Oh, yeah. And then press back forward. Yes. And as you do this dynamically, you'll find some greater range of motion. You'll find that maybe you can go a little bit deeper. And once more, press it forward. Yes. We hold so much stress in our hips and our lower body. It feels so good to stretch it out. All right, let's go ahead. Come down into a straddle stretch. Doesn't matter how far the legs open here. Just find something comfortable. Toes should be pointed up, but we're not flexing, we're not pointed. They're just sort of neutral. Sit up nice and tall, and we're going to take this forward first. So walk the hands out, hinging once again at the waist. You want to keep the back as flat as you can, and then find something comfortable to hold on to. Tuck the chin into the chest just a little bit so that the back of the neck is long. You're keeping the spine in place, one nice long straight line. And then breathe into those adductors, those inner thighs. Ooh, yes, that's a nice one. Walk the hands back up. Now you're going to reach one elbow under, and you're going to stretch the other arm up and over, reaching for the opposite toe. Now, it doesn't matter how far you come here. You could even be here. Work wherever you are. It's totally fine. You do want to aim to feel this stretch in the opposite hip. So if you feel this hip hiking up, press it down so you can really reach out of that pocket. Yes. And then go ahead and gently pull yourself back up here, and we're going to go to the other side. So toes remain up, Neutral, not flexed, not pointed. Reaching out of that pocket of the hip. Close your eyes here. Take a moment. Just really feel this stretch. Feel that connection to your body. We spend so much time being disconnected from our body. Let's increase that connection. Beautiful. Go ahead and come on up. Now we're going to take a quad stretch. So go ahead, lay on one side. You're going to stack the knees one on top of each other. The bottom leg can be straight here, and then just grab that toe and pull the heel towards the glute. You should feel a nice stretch in that quad. Breathe into it. And you can be up here, or you could be resting down on your elbow too. All chill, like whatever works for you. Yes, keep breathing into it. If you ride a lot, if you've been on the bike a lot, you know what it feels like, that quad burn. Let's go ahead, switch sides. Important to stretch it out. All right, so bottom leg is long, and you're driving that heel towards the glute as much as you can. Notice where you feel this. If you've recently done a ride, maybe this feels really good. Also, if you're about to do a ride, this probably feels pretty good. A few more moments here. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead, flip over onto your belly. We've got Sphinx Pose. So elbows are nice and wide. You can start by having your nose down on the mat, and then from here, you're just going to rise up on the elbows. Now press the hips into the mat. Open up the chest here. You can tip the chin up a little bit too. This is just a slightly more gentle version of Cobra. So it's a great chest opener, but it's not going to hurt you of any lower back contraindications. So breathe here. Keep pressing that heart forward. And then go ahead and lower it on down. Rock the hips from side to side here for a moment. And then press the elbows firmly into the mat again and gently roll back up. So this stretch will primarily be in zone 1. You might end up in zone 2 for some of them, but I suspect zone 1 the whole way. This is recovery, baby. 5 more seconds here. Yes, very nice. Go ahead, gently lower yourself back down. And then press up. We're going to spin the legs around and come on to our backs. So we have supine figure 4 stretch. You're going to cross one ankle over the opposite knee, reach in between that hole that you've created, and pull that leg towards the body. You're going to use the opposite elbow to press the knee open so you can really dig into that hip. And we're going to be here for a little while. So breathe into it. Maybe you can get a little bit deeper. Yes. You're halfway there. See if you can draw that leg a little bit closer to the body. See if you can press that knee open just a little bit more. This is an area of the body that doesn't often get stretched, but when it does, ooh, it feels good. All right, 5 more seconds here, and then all we're going to do is switch sides. 3, 2, and 1. Gorgeous. Cross that opposite ankle over the opposite knee. Reach in between that hole and pull it towards you. Start gentle. You can always go deeper. The breath is a great facilitator for deepening the stretch. So breathe into it. Connect mind, body. We don't often in life get enough time to really think about what's going on in our body. So now you have full permission to just notice what's going on in your body. Close your eyes. Notice where you feel it. Notice how you can manipulate the stretch as well. And as we hang out here, Maybe you get a little bit more mobility. Maybe you can open up that knee just a little bit more. Yes, feels so good. 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Now go ahead, drop the right knee down to the mat. Hug the left knee into the chest. Just hang out here for a moment. Feel your hip flexors stretching. And then go ahead, draw that knee over to the right side of the body. You're going to extend the left arm long and take your gaze over that left hand. Now, notice any tension that might have crept into that lower glute and just release it. Let it go. You don't need that. You don't need that stress in your life. And if it feels good here, you can make little semicircles with that arm on the floor, trying to keep the fingertips just lightly grazing the floor. Oh, yes. Nice chest opener, bicep opener. And after you've done a few of those half moons, maybe just find that place out to the side again and let it hang out. Fill the space between the vertebrae with air. Very nice. And now gently roll back over onto your back. You can extend the left leg down and hug the right knee into the chest. Give it a good squeeze here. Just hang out for a moment. Never underestimate the power of laying flat down on your back. It is the absolute best. All right, now go ahead, draw that knee over to the opposite side of the body and extend the right arm long, taking your gaze over that hand. Notice any tension in the glutes. Let it go. We don't need it. Bye-bye tension. And if it feels good, let's make some semicircles with that right arm. Really opening up the bicep, the pec, lightly dragging the fingertips along the mat. Ah, feels so nice. And then go ahead, bring that arm out to the side once more. Really focus on the twist. Bring your attention to the twist that's happening in the spine and think about filling that spot with air. Filling the space around the twist with air. Beautiful. All right, now go ahead, gently rock yourself up into a seated position. We're going to come into a seated forward bend. So take a moment here, separate your sits bones. Feet are sort of neutral here. Don't overly flex the knees. Sit up nice and tall, and you're just going to hinge forward at the waist. And then allow the arms to come, the hands to come to wherever they can. Maybe it's the shins, maybe it's the toes. Wherever it is, find something that's comfortable that you can hold on to for a little bit. Tuck the chin gently into the chest, but don't round the upper back. You want to always think about reaching out, stretching out of those hip flexors. Stretching out of the low back. Send your breath there. Beautiful. This is one of my favorite stretches in the entire world. I get a lot of lower back pain just from overuse. And so bending forward, stretching those little micro muscles around the spine, so nice. Nothing quite like it. Very nice. Now gently walk your hands back up, and we're just going to take a child's pose. So widen the knees, send the hips back to meet the feet, and start with tented hands here. Bring your awareness, your focus to the lower belly. Feel it expand and retract. And then go ahead and walk the hands over to the right. See if you can feel this down into the left hip flexor, left hip. You're stretching the left side body as well here. And then go ahead, walk the hands over to the opposite side. And then once more, walk the hands back to center. Take a few more moments here to really press those hips against the heels. And then walk the hands back up towards the body. Excellent. Very nice. Hope you feel a little bit more open now. You've increased your range of motion. You are ready to tackle the day, whatever is in store for you. My name is Jessie. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.